Welcome back to class. This class is sponsored by Awning Rejuvenation Systems International, and today we're going to discuss open weave cloth fabric cleaning. We discussed in previous videos what open weave cloth is, so we'll go on to more specifics. We're going to, in the office here, talk about the principles of cleaning, and then we're going to go out back and show you why you do what you should be doing to make your job easier so you can get in and get out and make more money, okay? We're talking about open weave cloth. Open weave cloth, just remember PG from the other episodes? They all have spec sheets. Spec sheets come, you can print them right out once you know what the fabric is. Now there's something you need to know. They all are hydrostatically pressure tested. All industrial fabrics are hydrostatically pressure tested. What this means is they can withstand so much weight of water before they start to leak, okay? This is the spec sheet for Sunbrella. This particular Sunbrella tech sheet is for the Awning Marine 60, which we'll be using out back. We have it in white, and it has a hydrostatic pressure test of 40 centimeters. Now in the old days they used to use pounds per square inch, PSI. That time the highest PSI you could go on the strongest industrial fabric was 360 PSI. Most of the time you were in the hundreds though, especially on open weave cloth. Because remember, cloth is woven. If you expand the weave, you will get water leaking through it. And fabrics do not glue themselves or heal themselves afterwards, so think about that. Now, 40 centimeters, what does that mean? It means they use the derivation of the Sutter technique. There's certain organizations out there who you can professionally go to and they will certify your fabric, okay? And they have different derivations of the Sutter or Suter technique, okay? And what it is basically you get a glass cylinder that's similar to PVC, but 1 meter or 1,000 millimeters long, 100 centimeters tall. It's 4.5 inches across in diameter. You put the cloth you want on the bottom of the cylinder. You fill it up with water, and as it grows, you measure how many centimeters, millimeters, based on who's doing the testing for you, until it starts leaking, okay? 40 centimeters is the limit on this fabric. And what that means is 40 centimeters from the bottom where the cloth is about 15 3/4 inches. In a 4.5 inch cylinder, that's 9 pounds of water. So at 9 pounds of water, if you go to 41 centimeters, it starts dripping. Now some testers want it to wait 30 minutes, some it's instantaneous, some it's 3 hours, but it's still 40 centimeters, okay? So think about that. This is a gallon jug of water. It weighs a little over 8 pounds. So imagine 9 pounds of water on the cloth and it starts leaking, okay? Now, if the fabric in the tube goes up to 1,000 millimeters or 100 centimeters, 1 meter, then it's considered waterproof. And now they have technical terms and with technical meanings and science behind them to say, well, so if the 40, okay, it's water repellent, it's up to 1,000, it's waterproof. Okay, that makes it a lot easier. Now, what this means is that you go out there with the pressure sprayer and you turn on 3,600 PSI and you blow through that fabric and you see it coming out the other side. You have stretched that weave so much that fabric is no longer manageable for water leaks, okay? It's going to leak like a sieve. So that could get you into some problems. So think about that. Awning fabric cleaning is not that difficult. You will need a cleaner. Of course, we recommend our brand, Universal Fabric Cleaner, full strength out to 20:1 dilution with water based on how much dirt and grime you have. You put it in a plastic sprayer of your choice, pump it up so that you can apply it properly. You will need a soft bristle brush. A soft bristle brush. Do not get a humongous gigantic one because then your weight load on it will be reduced quite a lot. You want the bristles not to fold over but to stay straight, because once the bristle folds over, presto changeo, it's no longer brushing, it's roller skating across the top, okay? Soft bristle brush, Make sure it's got a hole in it so you can thread in a pole so you can work from the ground. Little light bristle brushing. Third thing, you need a water supply. A hose into a building or a hose into a storage tank. You ported your own water with you. Presto, you got your rinse water. Just little things to think about. Now we're going to go out back and we're going to demonstrate the principles so you can understand the easiest way and the best way to get the job done. Welcome back. We're in the warehouse right now and we've got a piece of umbrella fabric on our test stand. We're going to show you up close the principles of cleaning this industrial open weave fabric. Now there's something to think about, okay? A lot of people in the older instructions tell you to go and pre-wet your surface with house water. This is back in the 40s and 50s when cleaners weren't that good and they had to pre-soak the material like you did laundry, okay? But those days are over with. Now here's what's going to happen. Pretend this plastic cup is dry open weave fabric, okay? You pre-wet it and put water in it. It's now filled with water, okay? You then, at full strength, this is your cleaner, put it in. How much cleaner do you have to add to that to get it to work? You've instantly diluted your cleaner out. Even if you put full strength in there, the most your cleaner has been cut is 100%. So you could be wasting money, and worst of all, you could be wasting your time, elbow grease time, okay? Because still putting the cleaner in it, it doesn't get darker, okay? It's still diluted out. So think about that when you go ahead and wet down a fabric ahead of time. You want the fabric dry so it absorbs your chemicals, so the chemicals do the work for you. Then you'll have less muscle time, okay? Thank you. Now we're going to move the camera closer so you can see up close the techniques of applying the cleaner and rinsing it and scrubbing it even. Thank you. Okay, we moved the camera closer so you can see over the test area. If you notice these black streaks here, just like you see them out there in the real world, these are condensate runoff lines. They are caused by this area of the material on the awning being colder so that the water condenses and runs down. And believe it or not, because there's a little flaw up there, it'll catch that and run down the same line day after day in that cooler area. The water condenses there, and what the water has in it, atmospheric water, has pollution. So this is nothing more than like car exhaust, diesel exhaust, just piling up there. And in a later video, we'll show you how to remove these easily, okay? Now we're going to start out. It's dry fabric. This is what you want. Now, how do you apply your cleaner? Some people just go up there and just start spraying away. Notice it runs down. We put a blue dye in here so you can see it better on the camera. Notice it runs down. First of all, you're wasting your money. Second of all, these produce streaks. So when the awning is dry, you will see a streak there because it's at a different cleaning concentration and will never be the same. The best way to apply a cleaner is from the bottom up. That way, if it runs down after it soaks in because you put too much in, it will run over a wetted down spot and you won't end up with streaks. And you do not want streaks. So once you have the fabric wetted down, and it's soaked in, you do not want it to dry. You want it to be wet and pliable so that you can take a brush and brush the daylights out of it if you have to. Just back and forth. Let the chemicals do the work for you. Once it's brushed down, you simply take your ordinary hose pressure, and start at the top. And presto, you rinse off the dirt. It's done. It's easy because you started with the dry. Now, certain fabrics might be so dirty that you have to let them dry completely and then clean them again. We hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe so you catch on to the next videos, and like us if you can. See you on the next class.